Masonic Control. That's the name of this report. We're going to talk about how all of the major cities of the world have been planned, laid out, according to the sacred geometry and numbers by the Masons, the Freemasons. We're going to talk about how Yahweh says in his book that he has been robbed. We're going to talk about the museums that are filled with Egypt's idolatry, references of obelisks, temples, mystery, symbols. I've given you reports how the religions of the world have been totally controlled by the Masons and the secret societies. So come with me on this report. A lot of the charts I'm going to leave up for you to read because there's so much information in them that you need to do your own research and you need to read the details of what has happened in this world. Now, starting with chart A, you will see on this chart the city of New York, but you're going to see how totally it was planned and everything was laid out and lined up according to the Freemasons' modus operandi. You're going to see the diagrams repeated in this report. It came from Secrets in Plain Sight by Scott Onsott, and I would urge you to have a look at that film. I'm not going to read it all to you. I'll leave it there for a moment or two so that you can see the depth of how we've been deceived and deluded, and all of the main cities in the world have been laid out and planned by the Masons, which are joined up as the conduit to give information to the Illuminati and all of the secret societies. I've given you reports that all of the religions in the world are from the Illuminati, the secret societies. They control all religions. And of course, I've given you reports that they also control all of the governments. On this report, you're going to see how they have done that. So let's go now further from this to chart 1. Okay, we're up chart 1. I've been asked by a lot of people writing to me from the over 200 of the documentaries that I've given to you. And the question is, what connection do the Freemasons have over the church, your religions, Jewish Kabbalah, Vatican, UN, NASA, NATO, New World Order, and your governments? So we're going to go through a lot of ideas in this report that will show you conclusively how much control the Masons have had since the beginning of time. Yahweh is the master of intentional design. He created everything, brilliantly included values in Hebrew letters to reveal numerical data, for example, planet sizes, set cosmic order, and reveal dimensions. Yahweh foretold in antiquity what would be over the eons of time, revealed secrets, and he fills the minds of evil men to carry out his evil plans at the end of days. But a lot of that is happening today. In particular, the GM food and the GM modification of everything that we grow is no longer according to the pure what was made by Yahweh, the Creator God. In item 3, Satan, also known as Lucifer, he is regarded by the Masons and the Illuminati And the Vatican, they worship him as the great architect of the universe. He's worshipped as their God. And on the contrary, he is a master of counterfeit, deception. He's unable to create anything. He can only copy, lie, rob, cheat, despoil, hybridize Yahweh's DNA, and tries to be like the Most High, the Creator God, which is also his maker. He leads the oppressors, and he leads all the secret society cartel, and I've listed some of them there for you: CFR, Trilateral Commission, NASA, the media, Vatican, UN, NATO, as a mute abomination it's referred to in the Bible in Daniel 7. Ultimately, they are all destroyed by Yahweh when he calls up his war. That's the Gog and Magog war. A lot of people don't realize that war is called up by Yahweh, the Creator God. It started by Yahweh, the Creator God, and it's finished by Yahweh, the Creator God. There will be no World War III, as the book of Revelation has given to the world. That's one of Satan's lies. So you have a look at that when we go on to the next chart, chart 2. Now we're up to chart 2, more about Mason's control, and in particular the DNA, Yahweh's truth. Item 1. Over the millennia, the mystery religion schools, that's Egypt, Assyria, Delphi, Samos, Thrace, Gnostics, Proto-Freemasons, the Templars, the Kabbalah, the Jews, the Kabbalists, ex-Babylon, later the Masons, Rosicrucians, Skull and Bones, Fabians, etc. They all form the ruling secret society cartel. They have been telling the world that God doesn't exist and that man was an ape-like, a dumb animal, and that all life came into being from a chaotic big bang. This is a gigantic lie. Their aim? To have New World Order control, and they believe they're going to be immortal. Item 2. This gigantic lie, which can be disproved by reading the word of Yahweh, the true living God, the Creator God of the Old Testament, creator of everything, including the fallen angels, that's Satan included, Yahweh's word of truth given to his reliable prophets. Now you can check that out in Isaiah. Go further and check it out in Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Hosea and Amos. Item 3. Well, there's plenty of research done. The scientific researchers now concur that a big bang to bring everything into being is impossible. The DNA, the RNA, special proteins to be present in controlled amounts work independently in order for you to be alive. For example, cell formation, multiplication, specialization, later for cell regeneration to take place. RNA cannot be made out of non-living matter. And I don't know if you realize or not, but your nose, your ears, your hand, everything on your body, the cells die and are replaced. And over a period of 3 or 4 months, you've actually got everything new. The specific encoding on the genes govern gene action, cell specialization, later cell regeneration, so health and self-replicate. Each species was made by Yahweh in its own kind. Tells you that in the old book. Yahweh, who made everything, he said, I spread out the heavens by myself. There was no Jesus there was no Son of God there was nobody else in the creation. You'll get that in Isaiah 44:24. Now, the Big Bang Theory is instituted as a lie by Masons in education universities, omitting info of Yahweh's intelligent design. Our human body continuously sheds dead cells, as I just said here before. Automatically replaced regeneration. How brilliant is that? Ancients, Templars, Secret Society, Masons, Cartel, and the Jewish Kabbalah, as above, so below, before the Hubble, NASA, GPS, Egypt, Sumer, all of that used advanced technology, medical new cosmos dimensions leaked out by fallen angels such as Satan. It was all made and revealed by Yahweh, the living Creator God. Chart 3. More about Mason's control. And the Great Seal, the United States of America's seal. On the top right-hand corner you can see a diagram there which comes out of Scott Onsett's film, Secrets in Plain Sight. And if you look at the details on that and the dollar bill, you will see if you join the stars up at the top, you join them together, you've got the Star of David. They call it the Israel flag. And that's no more a Star of David than your big shoe. All of those items in there, if you look at them, there's 13 leaves, 13 arrows, 13 steps and stripes. They're all to do with how the Masons design everything. Now, let's go to item 1. The USA dollar at note, it overflows with Masonic meaning, symbols, sacred geometry, and numbers which can be traced to ancient mystery skills of Egypt and Plato, etc. And I might add that Plato is responsible for a lot of the information that's in the Jewish Talmud and the oral law. Take no notice of it. Egypt is a man, not a god, Yahweh said. All but 12 presidents, in other words, I think out of 40, 43, 31 presidents, they were confirmed 33-degree Masons. And they can be traced to the Knights Templar, Pennsylvania Lodge. Evidence is on display. Washington, Eisenhower, Carter, Bush Jr. sworn in on the Masonic Handbook of 1770. Scott Onstott describes a clear link between the office of the prisoners, Capitol Hill, temple links to the heliacal base, the rise of Sirius, for example, Isis and Orion, NASA, UN, urban design, architectures are full of mystery symbols such as 33. Which also references the human body because the spine has 33 bones. Each moon star's relationship echoed on the earth. Yahweh's dimensions, he coded in Hebrew number values, matches NASA's data. And you can get research of that on Professor Haim Shaw. See, for the example, NASA's runaway. They've got a runaway that they named. Now, by linking those 33 stars of glory, that's in the circle up the top, above the eagle's head, you have the Israeli flag. And the symbol appears from 13 stars, telling initiates they have firm links, USA, Israel. On the pit side, there's 13 steps to heaven, 13 leaves, 13 olives, 13 stripes, 13 arrows, and the tail feathers, as I've already said to you. The all-seeing eye of providence, which is none other than the eye of Horus, the Egyptian god, the Heliopolitan Enid temple cult, worship on the Pythagorean pyramid. That's overlaid sacred geometry, all designed by 33-degree Masons. Anagram has got the Masons on the money. It's revealed by sacred geometry, triangle fitted in Vesica Pisces. You Google Scott Onstott's monumental, well-researched movie, Secrets in Plain Sight, to get more detail. Item in chart 4. Now, in the old book, it tells you about the tree of life. And it also tells you the story that Satan told Eve that because she would eat of the fruit, she would not die, but she would be like God. Now, these secret society cartel believe that lie, and they've carried that lie forward all the way through in their bloodline. But just have a look at the central London, and look at the tree of life on the right-hand side, which is out of the Jewish Kabbalah. It comes to 33 degrees, designed by the Mason, which of course relates to the finite, and they are represented as spheres of the tree of life. And you'll get details of that in Genesis 3:1-5. The item 3 down the bottom, I'll let you read that when you've got a moment, and you can stop the film and you could do your own research, but you'll find that we've given you the truth, and the research is given to you so that you can work it all out yourself. It's not my opinion. It is the truth that is available to the world, which has been hidden by the Masonic movement. We're up to chart 5. More about the Masons' global signposts, obelisks, sacred numbers, geometry, all encoded in architecture, in the art of cities. Now, I'm going to let you read most of this yourself, but I'll make a point with you on item 2. You'll see that the sun, S-O-N, or the S-U-N, sun, which was Horus, out of Osiris, that is now transferred into the New Testament, the pre-runner of Jesus. Now, when you stop the film and you read all the details here, you will easily be able to double check it all. You'll be easily be able to recognize by the maps of Google all over the world that what we've given you here is none other than 100% Masonic control of the designs. And the Osiris phallus with the female energy, you can easily see how that has been the base stone for a lot of the religions. I'll just make a note with you on item 3 down the bottom. I want to ask a question. Why has the world been so steeped in paganism, idolatry? Yahweh, the living creator God, said, I am the first, also I am the last. My hand laid out the foundation of the earth, and my right hand measured out the heaven. I called to them, and they stand together. Now, if you Google Scott Onstott's film, Secrets in Plain Sight, you will get a lot more detail on this, and you can see in Isaiah 48:14 exactly what Yahweh said. And what Yahweh said would happen, is happening all over the world in front of your eyes today. All right, we're up to chart 6. This is about Masons use alignments, sacred numbers for mystery, sacred geometry encoding earth, moon, sun, and the pagan gods with their calendar. Now, item 1 here. A lot of this I'll let you read it in your own time, but the facts and the figures that you have there, that is old, ancient information. And when you talk about the birth and rebirth, that's exactly what the Christian dogma was all about in the New Testament of the Bible. And you can easily prove here that it must have been written by Lucifer, Satan, to dupe and deceive the world, because the true resurrection is written by Yahweh, the living creator God, in Ezekiel 37. And I've given you more details on chart 11. Item 2, the Masons tell the world that Yahweh, the creator of it all, does not exist. Yahweh, though, put the dimensions of the planets and their gravity and their electromagnetic field, and he put details in their names. Now, only the fallen angel Satan, Lucifer, whom the Masons worship as God, could have provided the secrets of this information, as you read in Isaiah 14. The details that you'll get from NASA, that the degree tilt is 23.5, that causes solstices and equinoxes, which is written up in the old book, Genesis 1:14 to 18. Ancient man knew this information. Were they just dumb animals to know this information, as the Masons, Illuminati, ruling elite want you to believe, and they've been teaching our children for hundreds of years? Item 3. As you will see from this report, the depth of the deception quoted Secret Society's covenant. Let's read it together. And this is what they believe. We will create separate fronts. That's all the different secret societies, to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time, so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. And this will also prevent them from seeing the changes that they are making as they occur. It's a little bit like the old adage. If you had a jug of hot water and you threw a frog in it, you'll jump out to save his life. But if you have a jug of water and you put the frog in it when it's cold and heat it up to boiling point, he doesn't have enough sense to get out of it. Mankind has been so easily duped and deceived for hundreds of years because they don't want to stand up and be counted. Now we're on chart 7. More about the Masons' global signposts, obelisks, sacred numbers, geometry. And there's something to note, as I've already said to you, the tilt of the Earth, confirmed by NASA. As you can see, the full pictures of the Earth there display it. As you can see, the angle on the American dollar of the pyramid is the same. But also, as it says earlier, man knew the exact measurements of the sun, moon, and earth and stars. The sun is 864,000 miles. How did ancient man know how to calculate that? They weren't dumb animals. They didn't come out of any big bang. They were very intelligent human beings. So let's go to item 1. There's millions of giants, 13 to 19 foot tall. They've been unearthed globally. Their skeletons are hidden, kept out of education, kept out of the curricula and the media. Archaeologists, scientists are sworn to secrecy by the secret societies, the Masons, Illuminati, so that this evil cartel can promote their lie that Yahweh, the creator of it all, does not exist. And when you take Yahweh, the Creator God, out of everything that our kids are taught, it's very easy to fill it in details of the false dogma, the fake dogma about their evolution. Only the angel, Satan, Lucifer, who the Masons worship as their God, could have provided all of the secrets so widely used. And a lot of it is written up in the Jewish Kabbalah. Item 2, as I've already told you at this point, NASA shows a 23.5 degree tilt of the Earth, which helps to make all of the four seasons, spring, summer, autumn and winter. And early man knew this, and they refer to it in their artwork 5,000 years ago, particularly about Isis and Osiris. So have a look at those details. There's some more charts from Scott Onstott's Secrets in Plain Sight. Now, here we have Paris, the city of Paris. But you can see that superimposed over the city is the man that was drawn by Leonardo da Vinci, the Vitruvius Man. And if you look at all of the items there, they're all lined up according to what Masons did. They're all lined up to suit the Masons' method of designing cities. Make a note, as you will see here, this is also referred to as the mute abomination in Daniel 7 and Daniel 8 prophecy. So what you are seeing happening in the world today and what will happen in front of your eyes tomorrow, it's all been given to you in detail by Yahweh, the living Creator God, the God that made everything by himself. I'll just leave this chart there for a moment or two so you can stop the film and do your own research. But this is giving you the truth. And this is Paris in France. Now look at this in chart 9. Satan, otherwise known as Lucifer, has done a very good job at deceiving and giving false information to the world. Because of his lies, millions, not millions, billions of people have been led into absolute nonsense. On item 1, on the left-hand side of this chart, you can read it in your own time, make a decision as to whether you believe it or not. Then on item 2, make a decision as to what will happen. And the point I want to just make with you in item 3, only Satan, Lucifer, could have given such detailed information. You've got several biblical references there that you could look up to corroborate all this information that we've given to you. But I urge you to do so that you can be informed. There's no sense in being a good Jew, that's a lie. A good Christian, that's a lie. A good Islam, that's a lie. I won't go into all the others because they are all lies that's been set up in our society by none other than Lucifer, the God that these secret society cartels worship. They worship him as the great architect of the universe. This is chart 10. And on this chart, you've got a montage there of several of the designs that are on Scott Onsett's Secret in Plain Sight film. But there's one thing I want to just say to you. It also brings out that the Masons, Illuminati, the Secret Society cartel, believe they will be immortal. They believe, in other words, the very lie that's written up in the big book that Satan told Eve that she would not die if she ate the fruit. They believe this lie, and they believe they are the bloodline from the fallen angels out of Genesis chapter 6. They don't believe anything else but what you are looking at on this report and many of the other reports that I've given to you, and that they will be immortal, and their God that they worship is Satan or Lucifer. But make a note and Google it for your own info. So does also the Vatican believe that Lucifer is the creator God of the universe. Don't be duped, don't be deceived. Get to understand that there's only one God, Yahweh, the living creator God. At least recognize the fact that to pray to, ask in your prayers to anybody or any other deity other than Yahweh, your prayers will not be answered, and you will get no blessings. I urge you, for the sake of your family, your children, learn to recognize Yahweh, the living creator God, and let Yahweh be your God. Just a little bit on our final chart, number 11. And the question here is for you, which will happen? Who do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Is it in column A or column B? In column A, you've got the words from the Old Testament, Yahweh, the creator God. And you can read that in your own time. Check it out yourself. On the right-hand column, column B, that, to give you an idea, in Revelation 21, it tells a story that the New Jerusalem, a full big city, adorned to meet the husband, comes down out of the sky. You want to believe that? If you're a Christian and you believe the lies in the book of Revelation, you will believe that. Well, I can tell you that is definitely a lie, and it's not going to happen. In item 3 down the bottom, again, just showing to you that Satan, Lucifer, is the author of the New Testament, and in particular the details in the book of Revelation. And there's thousands of websites quoting the book of Revelation with theology of what they say will happen in the last days. Lucifer has done a big, beautiful job at deceiving and duping the world. Make a note of all the details that I've given to you on this film, but realize, and you'll get it in the previous films that I've given to you, Satan and the ruling elite and the secret society cartel is all referred to in the Bible as a mute abomination, and this mute abomination is ultimately destroyed by the hand of Yahweh. They don't think they will be destroyed, but I can assure you they're going to get a big shock.